We hear it all the time. Technology, especially AI, is going to solve everything. It's the key to our future. But what if that's not just, simple optimism? What if it's actually a powerful doctrine, a belief system that's shaping our world from the inside out? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the hidden ideology that's really driving the AI revolution, and maybe more importantly, how you can learn to spot it. Okay, take this quote from the venture capitalist Mark Andreessen. It just perfectly captures the whole mindset of Silicon Valley. It's bold, right? It's super confident. It basically frames technology as the ultimate savior. And yeah, on the surface, it just sounds like pure, unadulterated optimism. But let's, peel back the layers a bit. Is this really just a positive outlook? Or is there something more going on here? Could it be a systematic doctrine that shapes how the most powerful people in tech see the entire world, and, by extension, how they're building that world for the rest of us? Well, it turns out researchers have actually given this belief system a name, so let's decode this core concept they've identified. It's called the Techno-Supremacy Doctrine. So, the Techno-Supremacy Doctrine, or TSD for short. And look, this isn't just about thinking tech is cool. It's way deeper than that. It's an almost unshakable faith in technology's inherent superiority to solve any problem you throw at it. And this whole doctrine, it's built on 4 key components that all work together. So let's break them down one by one. Okay, first up, we've got something called tech goggles. This is basically the tendency to look at a huge range of really complex societal issues. I'm talking about stuff like educational inequality or political polarization, and see them primarily as technology problems. You know that old saying, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail? Well, it's exactly that, except in this case, the hammer is always an app, an algorithm, or some new piece of hardware. And that, of course, leads you straight into the second component, solutionism. See, once you've put on your tech goggles and framed something as a tech problem, what's the next logical step? You look for a neat, clean, technological fix. Solutionism is all about oversimplifying these really messy, complicated human problems, totally ignoring their history and context, all for the sake of a single, scalable solution that, you guessed it, can be coded and deployed. And here's what justifies the whole approach: techno-chauvinism. This is the core belief that a technological solution isn't just an option. No, it's the best option every single time. It's this deep-seated assumption that tech is just more objective, more efficient, that it's fundamentally superior to any messy, human-led or political approach. And finally, wrapping it all up, we have the cults of technology. Now, this is where the whole belief system gets, well, almost spiritual. It's a kind of quasi-religious faith in technology's power, a belief that it will deliver us into a better, maybe even a utopian future. And a lot of this is based on an overestimation of its future capabilities, a belief in near magical powers that might not even exist yet. Okay, so here's the really crucial part. These 4 things, they aren't just separate ideas. They actually feed into each other, creating this really powerful self-reinforcing cycle. Think about it. The tech goggles frame the problem. That leads solutionism to seek a tech fix. Techno-chauvinism then justifies that approach, insisting it's the best way. And finally, the cult of technology reinforces the faith in the whole process, which just makes you that much more likely to grab your tech goggles the next time a problem comes up. It's a perfect, closed loop. But here's a fair question. Does everyone in the AI elite actually believe this stuff? Well, to find out, researchers went straight to the source. They started analyzing the public writings, blog posts, essays, you name it, from the industry's most influential figures, looking for the telltale signs of these beliefs in their own words. And this comparison right here just perfectly illustrates the huge divide they found. On one side, you've got Mark Andreessen again, basically framing any kind of caution as the enemy of progress. But then, on the other side, you have someone like Mustafa Suleyman, the CEO of Microsoft AI, arguing for societal control over AI. I mean, these aren't just slightly different opinions. These are fundamentally opposing worldviews. So what the analysis revealed is that the AI elite, well, that's not a monolith, not at all. Instead, their beliefs fall along a spectrum. You've got the advocates, think Andreessen, OpenAI's Sam Altman, who are strongly pro-TSD. Then you have the critics, like Anthropic's Dario Amodei and Suleiman, who are just as strongly anti-TSD. And right in the middle, you find the balancers, who have a much more nuanced, kind of internally debated perspective on the whole thing. But this is where the story gets really fascinating, because the researchers discovered that this spectrum of belief, it wasn't static, it wasn't set in stone. One single event came along and dramatically changed the entire conversation. And that event, of course, was the launch of ChatGPT back in late 2022. I mean, overnight, AI wasn't just some theoretical thing anymore. It was real, and everyone was using it. The global conversation just exploded. At first, it was all about safety and risk. You saw that with things like the AI Safety Summit. But then, really quickly, the whole narrative shifted. It culminated in the AI Action Summit, where suddenly the focus was all about opportunity, innovation, and moving fast.
And the data? The data shows this shift in really stark terms. The study found that a staggering 71% of the leaders they analyzed showed an increase in their pro-TSD stance after ChatGPT launched. Just think about that for a second. For the vast majority of these key figures, the belief in techno-supremacy didn't just stick around, it actually accelerated.
So why the big change? Well, the analysis points to what you could call an intense AI gold rush. All that initial talk about safety and caution, it got eclipsed, and fast, by fierce commercial competition and huge geopolitical pressure to win the AI race. The dominant narrative became, let's build, fast, and don't get left behind. And that pushed a lot of the more nuanced or cautious voices to the sideline. Okay, so we've decoded the doctrine, we've traced how it's evolved, but the big question is, why does any of this actually matter to you? Well, it's because this framework, it isn't just some academic exercise. It's a really practical tool that you can actually use to see the world around you a lot more clearly.
I want you to think of everything we've just talked about, the tech goggles, the solutionism, that whole cycle, as your own personal diagnostic toolkit. It's a linguistic toolkit that lets you detect the influence of the techno-supremacy doctrine everywhere, when you're reading the news, when you see a new product launch, and especially in those high-stakes policy debates about how we should be regulating AI. And this toolkit isn't just for researchers, right? AI engineers and designers can use it to question their own assumptions. Policymakers can use it to cut through all the industry hype and rhetoric. And for us, as consumers and citizens, we can use it to demand more accountability from the people who are literally building our future. So, from now on, the next time you hear one of those grand promises about how AI is going to save the world, I want you to pull out this toolkit. Ask the tough questions, look beyond the fancy words to see what the actions and the investments really are. Because ultimately, it all boils down to one final crucial question. Are the leaders of this revolution just talking about a better future, or are they actually building one that truly includes all of us?